I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with
Paul Crescenza, known as the Mookout.
Moo.
Moo.
All right, so we're here to talk about Mandy, the Haunted Doll.
Haunted Doll! Haunted Doll.
The Haunted Doll. See, it says Haunted Doll.
Yes,
And what did we think of Mandy, the Haunted Doll? Nah, that wasn't that bad, but it wasn't the greatest movie of all time.
Wasn't the greatest doll movie of all time.
And it's kind of sad. We were listening to, he was listening to some of the commentary.
What little there was.
Because even the director seemed very disinterested in his own movie.
There are large, indigestible chunks of nothing on the commentary. Like, no sound at all. Just nothing.
It was odd. Like, usually when that's the case, they put the sound of the movie back on or whatever. But this case, it was like silent. It was really weird.
Meh.
But yeah, it was. Okay, so if you don't know what Mandy the Haunted Doll is about, Amber, Carly, and Neil are three thieves who have devised the perfect plan.
Perfect.
Well, actually, apparently only Carly and Neil have, really. But anyway, we'll get into that in a little bit. Have Amber pose as a babysitter, get hired by wealthy families, then raid their homes while the children sleep. Now, see, that would have been interesting had they done it more than once, or something. But they did it once, so really their plan was just to do it one time. At least, I guess, try it one time and see if it works. But Amber gets more than she bargained for when she is attacked. She's asked by her first employer, first employer, Miss O'Brien, to look after her sweet dear Mandy. Amber is given a strict set of rules, one of which, never disturb the child. Once alone with the mysterious unseen Mandy, the thieves begin their search for riches. They soon realize that Mandy is no child, but is a possessed evil doll with a deadly plan of her own. Alright, so you got it? Got that? The whole thing?
And the movie's a lot more exciting in the explanation than it is in the actual execution.
Yeah, that sounds more exciting than it actually is. It is just, I mean, the problem with this movie is they try to go all Chucky on you, which is like not like Annabelle, where Annabelle is like just disappears and reappears and doesn't talk. I don't remember Annabelle really talking, things like that. But they try to make this doll talk
and get up and move around and kill you and stab you. So it looks kind of like this.
Literally like that.
It's bad.
Except when they do it off screen.
Right.
That was one of the worst parts, is that all the deaths are off screen.
This is not very believable, frankly. I mean, it's just silly.
Yeah, it's a silly movie. So anyway, we find out that this doll is possessed. When in the very beginning you see, I guess, is that Mandy herself, like a little kid?
So she's a little kid in 1910, and a couple of bullies are bullying her because that's what they do. And she's in a church, so they drag her in this church and they put her behind a door and they close the door and lock it, and she's screaming to get out, and nobody finds her for a week, and she freezes to death. And she happens to have the ugly doll with her, so when she dies, her soul goes from her body into the body of the ugly doll, which I guess, unless she was like an evil kid to begin with, I don't know. I don't quite get the whole thing.
Yeah, she wasn't an evil kid. She was like, that's another thing. She wasn't an evil kid at all. She was like a sweet little girl, innocent girl who was bullied. And then when she died, wouldn't that be the exact opposite? Wouldn't it normally be like she'd be a protector of people? Like, that would have been a cooler movie.
Or, if you had done something like she had gone back to get either the two perpetrators as they were old men or the descendants thereof, that would make sense. But instead, she's just become this, malevolent little critter who just wants to kill everybody, I guess.
It's never even really explained why she wants to do that. Like,
no.
I mean, So anyway, most of the time it just tells her like, she has this one little bit where she says, what is it, like come play with me or whatever, come play with me and stuff, and that's very Annabelle like. But Annabelle would write it or something and have it sent under the table.
Either that, or I was thinking the scene from The Shining with the twins and the thing where they, come play with us forever and ever.
Yeah.
That actually worked.
Yeah, that's actually scary. This is definitely not scary at all. So
It's annoying. You just want to punt the damn thing. If you see it, you just kick it.
yeah, I'm wondering why they never did. Like, apparently every time they saw the thing, it would just disappear.
Oh yeah, or they would just be busy just screaming at it. Oh my god!
Or they didn't realize it was like literally right behind them, or whatever, most of the time, or whatever.
Just hit it with something.
I don't know. It didn't even start off well, which kind of like was a bummer. Cause I mean, I hate to say this is a movie you can get at Walmart, and we're not completely if you like haunted doll movies, like you're a collector of haunted doll movies, collect this movie for real. Like, we're not telling you that you should never watch it. And in fact, if you just want to watch a bad movie, a bad movie night, something you guys could go get drunk at and watch, you'll definitely laugh your ass off at this movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. And because if you're looking for a good one, I mean, there are plenty of haunted doll movies out there. Some of which do this sort of thing better, some of which do them worse. This one is just kind of eh.
Yeah, I actually just watched another one, which I'll be reviewing on my own, and I won't say whatnot, but you'll have to see that later. Actually, it was kind of better than this one. And I mean, I hate to say it, but the bar is set pretty low, on this one.
Because it's doll sized.
Didn't even think about that, but yeah, the doll size bar is set low on this, so it basically, if you just have fun with the movie, it seemed like this just felt like a movie where the people weren't passionate about making a doll movie. Like, they were told, you know what's selling right now? Doll movies. Go make a doll movie. And they're like, how do I do this? Oh, I take my original other script that had something to do with thieves and make a haunted doll movie out of that.
Right. And then the problem is that, okay, so in addition to the very backstory where you see the 1910 murder of the kid, the accidental murder of the kid, then the doll, which gets mailed to the first people, which I don't understand because it's supposed to be passed along to generations. So what the hell is it doing in the mail? But anyway, the doll kills those people. Then it takes another 40 to 45 minutes before you finally, somebody else dies. And again, you don't even see it. It just sort of happens.
Well, I also want to go back to the whole mailing of the doll thing. That made no sense to me.
No, there's a lot of things that make no sense.
Because she was talking about babysitting the girl. Like, in the beginning of the movie, she was talking about how she babysat, but she had this doll, and she was surrounded by other dolls. And then the doll got sent to her.
Right, and presumably the first person had the exact same set of rules that that she gave the second girl, who's in the majority of the film, which is, you never leave the house, and you never do this, you never do that, and here she is. And even if she mails it, it's like it came in a box that wasn't even closed. I mean, they didn't even wrap it.
They didn't close anything.
I know, they were always leaving doors open.
They're leaving doors open.
It felt very half-assed, honestly.
Yeah, even them just not even closing doors. Like,
symbolic of it.
Oh my god, it was so weird.
And there's like a number of continuity issues we noticed.
We had continuity monkey throughout
especially
the whole thing.
Whatever that sandwich taco thing was that the girl was eating.
In the beginning of the movie, there's and we have to specify a couple things though too. So Amber and Carly are sisters, right?
You never would have guessed it.
They don't look like sisters at all.
No.
Maybe adopted sisters or something. Right. Maybe.
So the one has been in jail for something. We assume because they're a thief. So she gets out of jail and immediately she walks into this situation.
Yeah, like some backstory would have helped. Like, at least explaining why she was in jail and what their involvement was in it, because it didn't seem like it seemed like she got busted for something that they all did, but they never explain anything. And And on top of that, wouldn't you feel really, really bad if your like sister, like you kind of got your sister into some trouble and she went to jail? Why would you make her, your own sister, go back out to do this again? That just like made no sense to me.
Yeah,
Um,
it just felt very half-assed.
yeah, it was a pretty half-assed movie. And then the she's eating the sandwich or whatever she had, and then he noticed it. I didn't even notice that at first. I would have noticed it later. But there was, yeah, they took a bite out of it, and then the next shot it's full again, and then next shot. So it was like that day night kind of thing normally with the sandwich.
Right,
You know?
right. It was odd. It was just, and then that whole conversation felt like it was shot on different days. It just felt really weird and awkward.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I honestly wasn't that. I thought I was gonna be a little bit more impressed. I mean, if you look at the poster and you look at the bag, it looks like it's gonna be kind of cool, especially with the other dolls. You thought there was gonna be something with the other dolls, and it really wasn't. And it was kind of a shame. They had so many cool things they could have done with it, and I think they just kind of just played it safe or something. I mean, like maybe they didn't have enough money to shoot special effects, so they have everybody die off screen. That's fine. I see a lot of those movies, and I'm okay with them as long as we kind of understand what's happening. But like, okay, like the first guy that dies, he dies in a sheet, and you still don't understand. She stab him? Did she strangle him? What did she do?
And you just kind of see sort of that, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it was weird.
And then you don't see the death of the other chick, but you presume that's what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, because she screams.
The Australian chick.
Yeah, she screams, and then it just goes to 3 months later.
She screamed at everything. She was a scaredy cat. She's afraid of everything.
Yeah, all the people were in this movie.
So anyway, basically, I guess Mandy is the protagonist there. She gets out of jail. She meets up with her sister.
Amber.
Amber. She meets up with her sister and her dodgy boyfriend, and they have this plan to sort of get her a job babysitting so that they can get into houses and steal shit, which is a stupid idea, but it's what they've come up with. And so she's reluctant to do it because she's just getting out of jail, but I guess she figures, I mean, and that's just it. She spends like 10 minutes arguing with her sister about this, and then the very next scene, like 2 minutes later, she's like, oh, okay, let's cuddle for a while, and I'm okay with it. So that was kind of weird. So then she goes over, and it turns out the babysitting job is for this woman who has all these, weird rules for her to follow for this child. Well, it turns out it's not a child, it's a doll. So immediately you would think common sense would kick in and say, why the hell am I doing at this job where I'm watching a doll? I'm watching this thing sit there. It's just very strange. You would think they would have just left, or they would have just, I don't know, it's just very strange. I don't quite get it.
There's also when she actually notices like she thinks she lost the child because she can't find the child and the child's gone. Which she didn't even look around the house for the child. She just saw that the child wasn't in the room. That child could have been anywhere.
Right.
She didn't even look in the attic where the child was a
Allowed to
plaything.
go in the attic.
You're not allowed to go in the attic because that's her play place. But you would think, why doesn't the fucking girl go check up in the attic? But she literally doesn't do. You can't find the doll, she can't find the child, and then she calls up the mom, and the mom says, the lady says, oh, she should be there. She's got strawberry blonde hair and a white dress. And you see that the doll has the same thing, and the doll's in the pictures with the lady with the same clothes, obviously, because, dolls don't really change much.
Apparently not.
I would imagine they wouldn't. And so she's just like, this is, she's like, oh, okay. I found Mandy. And then she doesn't leave.
Right. Like, clearly you are a crazy person because you believe this doll is alive and you're paying me money to sit here and look at it. Even though, let's be honest, she's a terrible babysitter. She, sleeps the whole time, or she goes and takes a bath. She just doesn't care.
I'd be creeped the fuck out if, I was supposed to be watching a doll as my baby.
I'd just be annoyed. It's like, you're really
Really?
you're wasting my time with this.
But see, she thinks it's okay because she's planning to rob the place anyway. So she wasn't planning for the doll to like come alive and
And
attack.
there's like nothing to rob. It was just a bunch of crappy knickknacks and fake jewelry, and there was nothing there. There was nothing.
Yeah, stuff that's obviously not worth much that they
No.
probably found at like Dollar Trees or
I
something.
know. So that's
Yeah,
what these
sure.
other two, Carly and the thick as a brick boyfriend, who by the way has this very thick English accent. I really could not understand him half the time.
Yeah, and the worst part,
Sorry.
there's no subtitles.
I know.
We wanted subtitles. Damn it! I mean, ITN, if you're watching, give us some subtitles for British movies.
Right. So it's kind of like if you could think of Annabelle only made by the guys who made Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels without being nearly as entertaining as either one. That's kind of what, kind of what it was like. a little
Nothing like that at all.
bit. No.
What he just described, no. That would have been cool.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, but no. See, at least that guy would have, at least
At least the thick accents would have been understood.
maybe, like even I think even in Snatch when Brad Pitt had that really like
Oh,
thick
yeah,
accent
yeah.
or whatever, they had
Yeah.
subtitles for him or something. So I just like honestly I can understand what he was saying. The sound was so off, and that might see here's the biggest problem I have is independent filmmakers usually send in their stuff, and then the distributors put it out without fixing the sound, and the sound needs to be fixed.
Right.
Because especially if you're gonna stream this movie or you're gonna watch it especially on DVD, like there's no possible reason for the sound to be bad. Just go fix it in in a editing thing.
So bad sound plus thick accent is not a good combination.
Yeah, so you can barely hear it. You have to turn it up, and on top of that, the guy mumbles a little bit too, and you can kind of barely understand him.
So I mean, there are some decent things. I guess we could talk about that. The house that they shot in was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The
Good shot. Cinematography was
cinematography was
amazing.
decent.
Like I was very.
It was all right.
Well, you didn't like it, but I loved it. I thought
I
it
thought it
was.
was all right.
I thought it was off the chain. There's some really great shots in the movie,
Yeah.
which might also be a little bit of direction
And
too.
the doll itself was kind of cool. Even though when you started moving around, it obviously wasn't just a doll, but when it was just sitting there, it looked kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And it just felt like that if they had put a little bit more effort in the writing and a little bit more effort into the story and a little bit more effort into the characters, that they could have done better with this. But they did not.
Lady is mad right now.
Yeah.
She's like, you know what? You're doing this review without me.
I know.
You
She's
can hear her in
jealous.
the background. Sorry, that's my dog.
Yeah.
We know this because she's in our shows all the time. So
But,
sorry.
Yeah, it just felt a little, a lot unpolished, and it's a shame because maybe this could have been something, a higher quality if a little more effort had been put into it. It's not like this guy's first movie, right? He's done.
I think he
of
did
other
like 14 things on his credit on IMDb.
There you go.
So I mean, and he even said stuff about his other earlier films. So I'm just surprised that like, and he even said in the commentary track, he said
what
that
little there is.
yeah, that he wasn't happy doing or something, like he wasn't.
He mentions that it's clearly the whole device of the haunted doll getting up and running around like Chucky or Annabelle is kind of silly. I mean, it's not really that frightening, honestly.
So he should have made it a little bit more comedic, but unfortunately, if there was comedy in it, I did not get it whatsoever.
Oh, no,
I don't think I laughed once.
They played this straight, and that's kind of part of the problem too. I mean, if you know you have a weakness like that, you need to somehow turn that into a strength, and they didn't even bother.
Yeah, I mean, at least have fun with it, or whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, it wasn't the worst movie of all time, and it probably wouldn't be the worst doll movie, I would imagine. I bet there are worse doll movies.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't. It wasn't nearly as good as you would expect from something that come out of Walmart. and stuff, right?
That's one way of putting it, I suppose.
Well, I mean, I kind of like whenever because there are, Walmart does have a lot of independent films, and thank you Walmart for doing that because that's pretty cool though. Like indie films can go out and make,
Because they can get them cheap.
yeah, you put them for $10. You
But
got a movie there.
I mean that's unfortunately the reality is that this is where a lot of movies go because there's not a whole lot of distribution for independent films. So I get what you're saying. I'm glad that they do it. It's just that you end up getting a real grab bag of stuff. Some of it's decent, some of it is just blah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I think if these people make another movie, most likely will not be another Mandy movie. I don't think this would do well enough to get a sequel.
Mandy the Haunted Doll 2?
So if you guys do,
We all do, don't we?
yes, we do. If you do another sequel, like another Mandy movie, take our advice, make it fun, make it realize like it is.
Go nuts with it. Go
Yeah,
off the chain.
make her haunt other things or something, or whatever, like enjoy it because honestly, it's just a little slow and kind of boring and.
She wasn't that frightening. It's just, I'm a creepy doll.
And then the last thing I want to mention is the last part of the movie.
Oh, they tacked on that part. Yeah.
The ending was just bad. They should have ended it with the doll and the girl at the end. Like they have this one ending. This is clearly a sign of like overdoing it to get you some more time and everything. When you can space that time out with like credits and stuff.
Right. There's definitely some filler.
Yeah, there was some filler that just felt odd and weird, and I didn't understand it. Like, why does this doll keep coming to random people? And how did this one lady get it? Like the one main lady, how did she get it? Was it passed down from generation to generation? Then how come these other people get it? Are they related to this
Why is
lady?
she mailing it to random people?
But she mailed it to them so that he would kill them, or whatever. But it made absolutely no sense, and she seemed like a very nice lady until she realized the people were trying to steal from her. Then she was like all mad.
Even if she mailed her, I mean, why couldn't Mandy just show up on her own? I mean, she clearly can control physics. She can turn off the lights whenever she wants to. She can do all kinds of creepy sounds when she wants to. She can do all this shit, but she can't go to another person's house.
Yeah, she did that. They did that because they had it mailed. Because then the girl could give some backstory to remember. She pulls it up and she mentions. She mentions Mandy and everything. It made no sense. I'm sorry. It's like, oh God. But
so we
gave it a try.
Yeah, we should go to our 1 to 5 scale.
All right. So on this show, as opposed to our podcast, we do 1 to 5. Mm-hmm. On our podcast, we do 1 to 10 on our stinkometer.
Stinkometer.
But on this thing, we do 1 to 5, 1 being worst and 5 being the best.
And sometimes we'll do halves as well. So it's more like a traditional star system.
Yeah, it's a traditional star system. I'm gonna give it a 2. It wasn't like as bad as a 1, or something like. That literally would be if the movie was just like completely completely boring, like nothing good at all. This had some interesting, at least some of the deaths were interesting. The cinematography was pretty. I liked some of the editing choices that they made. All in all, it just wasn't for me.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to have to give it a 1.5. Not quite a 1 territory, but to me, 2 is average, and I thought that this was below average overall. It had a few things in there that were
average
positive.
Would be 3.
No, I think average is 3 is good, frankly. I mean, that's how I look at it, but or 2.5. But to me, this was a 1.5. It just it had a few too many holes, and again, it wasn't so bad that I would give it a 1 or a 0, but. It is what it is. if you like haunted doll movies, maybe this is right up your alley. In that case, give it a try. Otherwise, I don't know. It kind of is what it is.
It could be hella worse, I guess.
It could always be worse.
Just don't do that in the sequel. Don't make it worse.
I would say if I had to talk to the directors, I would just say, tighten up the script, make the characters a little more interesting, give them more things to do, and let loose. I mean, really
Also,
let loose with the doll.
Explain a little bit more, but without actually explaining so much. Like, I think the biggest problem with the movie was the stuff that they explained I didn't care about, and the things that they didn't explain I cared about.
Right.
So just next time, fix that. Like the writer Shannon Holiday. I don't know if that's a male or female because it's both name kind of thing. But please, for the love of God, if you're gonna make Mandy 2 or another movie, explain what's going on a little bit. If you have two sisters, explain why the one person was in prison. For what were they in prison for? They might know that, but the audience has no idea, and we're totally confused as to why.
Just pretend Mandy's behind you with a knife, and she's going to stab you if you don't write out more.
There you go. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
And it's a shame because there could be some genuinely creepy moments in this if they gave it a better chance.
Yeah. So, hopefully the next script that Shannon Holiday writes and that we see will be a lot better. I don't know if this is their first movie or not, but definitely wasn't Jamie Weston's first movie, so he should have been on the ball on this. This was not up to par as to what I thought this.
And like I said, given what I saw in the commentary, maybe he just wasn't particularly interested in this particular film. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes people just get hired to direct something that they just didn't care about and stuff, and maybe that means that he should not be brought back for Mandy 2.
Yeah, well,
Mandy 2.
One thing we didn't touch about was the acting. I thought the acting was okay. I mean, I'll say that about it. Nobody gave a particularly bad performance.
I mean, nobody
blew me away either, but
the two people at the end of the movie gave me.
Okay, yeah, they were tacked on.
They were tacked on, but they were bad.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. I was thinking of the main group.
Yeah, the main group was great.
Yeah, they were fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. What's his name? Neil. Neil, I wasn't a really big fan of.
Well, I couldn't understand him for half the time. That was the problem.
And look, I'm okay with like the token black guy kind of thing, character, or whatever. You gotta have some color in your movie. Perfect, whatever. I love that kind of stuff. But I mean, make him likable, or something. I just didn't find him likable at all.
I mean, he's kind of meant to be a heavy, which is fine. It's just I just wish I could understand him more.
But the heavies are still kind of likable at times.
They can be, yeah.
Most of them are, Even Freddy Krueger is a likable heavy.
Right. Well, for example, I had no idea why Carly was with him or had any interest in what their connection was at all.
Are they together? Are they together? Because, are they together? Because
That's literally what I read into it.
Sorry, our phone is. I'm guessing that's England calling right now to yell at us.
Oh, I think it's Mandy calling. She's going to visit you tonight. Stab.
Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out.
Come play with us.
If you like this, check out indiefilmcafe.reviews and sickflickproductions.com for more information about these reviews as well as many other reviews. We've got a bunch coming to you because we were slacking, so we're doing as many reviews as we possibly can.
That's right.
And getting them out there and everything. He just did one that came on a couple days ago, and so
Curse of the Crimson Altar.
So this one will be out a couple days later, and then so on and so forth. So thank you.
Check it out. And one last little tip: if you're going to do a doll movie, make sure that it's a sock monkey.
That'd be cool. All right. Give us a like.
All right. Bye.
Bye.